cr101radio.com, podcasts, and more.
56. Regulations. A very good friend, a minister, was planning to build a Christian school building. The only way to get all the plans approved in time was to take the papers to the county offices, carry them from one clerk in office to another, and spend day after day for a few weeks pushing through all the necessary permits. By that time, he had spent so much time in the county offices that some officials began to assume that he worked there. I've heard several like stories from contractors telling me of the endless regulations, permits, and inspections. Now and then I use one of those stories, but usually someone objects. Yes, but we have to have regulations. Indeed we do, but by whom? Moreover, since our various levels of civil government represent the most incompetent and inefficient operations in the modern world, why should they do the regulating? Is the point of it all to reduce everything to the same level of incompetence as government maintains? Our founding fathers operated on this principle, which was often quoted, quote, "Men will be governed by God, or they will be governed by tyrants." End quote. Even Franklin held to that. Now, no man is perfectly governed by God this side of heaven, but the more men are governed by God, the less they will be governed by other men. Those objectors are right, quote, "We have to have regulations." If we set aside the regulations of God's law, we will of necessity be regulated by man's law. The swarm of new regulations passed daily by one branch of civil government after another is an indication of our loss of self-regulation by the law of God. When you stand in line for some kind of permits or pay higher taxes for various forms of civil service incompetence, remember, we are paying the price for our apostasy. Sin always exacts a high, if hidden, price. Moreover, instead of repenting for our sins, we complain rather that the price of sin is too high. We dislike the taxes and regulations and complain about them instead of seeing how seriously wayward we are in departing from the Lord. It is still true that men will either be governed by God or they will be governed by tyrants. In spite of their complaining, it's clear that most people prefer tyrants. Where do you stand?